Just to give you a bit of context, I lost five stone, which was 70 odd kilos, when I was in my 30s, mid 30s. Okay. And I became a fitness instructor because you can't be a fat fitness instructor. I had this label that helped. And I was teaching fitness, and I was teaching diet as well. I was doing a weight loss and exercise class together. And I did that until 2015, when I had to have my hip replaced. And I had to stop teaching, had to stop doing all that. Barry and I borrowed my mum and dad's motorhome at the time in 2015. And I put 50 pounds on in 3 months. And it was horrifying watching it happen and feeling like I had no control over it. Yeah. It was like somebody else was doing it. It wasn't me. It was somebody else that had taken over my body, and it was horrific. Yeah. And I managed to release and put the same 7 pounds on and off for about the next 5 years. And then I found WILDFIT. Now, bearing in mind that I was a fitness instructor and I kind of knew a bit about nutrition when I did exactly, you know what's healthy. Yeah. Right. So in here, it's like, why the heck can't I do it? Yeah. When I did WILDFIT, it all went, aha, oh, now I get it. And I had so many aha moments that by week 6, by week 2, I said to Barry, this is completely different. By week 6, I said, I need to coach this. Oh, wow. By week 9, bearing in mind it's 13 weeks, so I haven't even got to the end of my own 13 weeks. By week 9, I'm on my doing my coaching qualification. It was that quick that I realized what a difference it was. And it's not, I'm not going to say it's not a diet, because all programs say that. Yeah. They all say it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's a shift. Yeah. It's a shift in mentality, a complete shift in mentality. Okay. And then it fills in the blanks of all the nutrition bits that I kind of knew when I've done all my nutrition course and all that. I knew all the theory, but it made sense of it, and it filled in the holes. I knew there were gaps in what I knew. I knew that there were things there that didn't quite feel right, but I didn't know what it was. Yes. And whilst it filled in those blanks, all of a sudden it all just made sense. Now I'm not someone who needs to go into the science of it. I don't need to have all the specifications and all the science behind it. And all. I need to feel it, and I did. When I did the program, as I was going through it, I could feel it all aligning, and feel it sitting and settling, and what's the phrase, when you intrinsically know it, it's like you absorb. And as soon as I did that, my shape changed, the fat just fell off. But it wasn't just that. It was the other side effects, because weight loss and inch loss is a side effect of treating your body well. Although we do it for that reason, because that's the same reason I did it. I wanted to lose the weight. It's when you get to the end of the program, it's not the important thing. It totally changes your whole attitude to it. You love your body, love what it does for you, and you want to treat it well. And as a result of doing that, your body comes back to you. And the one thing that, if we do nothing else that we take away from this call, the one thing I want you to understand is your body does not want to be like this. Your body wants to be at its absolute optimal health. Yes. And it will do everything it possibly can to make you as healthy as possible, so you live as long as possible. That's the bottom line. Our bodies don't want to die. They don't want to disintegrate. They want to be as healthy as possible. Yeah. So the more healthy stuff you put in, the more of a response your body's going to have, the more tools your body's going to have to be able to make you healthier. So at the moment, if you feel your metabolism's low, it's low because your body needs it to be low in order to deal with something else that's going on. As soon as you give it space to deal with that other thing, your metabolism will just go straight back up. It's incredible. If you trust your body, completely trust your body will, honestly, it will absolutely do everything it can to make you feel as brilliant as possible. So the program itself, the one question I need to ask you is, are you prepared to change your lifestyle? Because the way you are at the moment is taking you where you're going. So you are going to have to shift something. Now, the beauty of the program is when you come to your decisions at the end of the program, they will be so much easier. your body will so talk to you. There will be no subtlety anymore. What are you doing? We're not having that. There will be things. It's a 90-day program. There's no way in 90 days that we are going to address all of your connections with food, all of the things that trip you up. But what you will do at the end of the 90 days is you'll have your toolbox to be able to take it forward. So when things crop up and you find that you've not treated your body as well as you could have for whatever reason, you will be able to look back on it and go, okay, why did I do that? What was going on? And then the next time it happens, it either won't happen as strongly, or you'll actually have got over it. So I just want to manage expectations. We're not going to undo everything that all the rules and meanings and all the things that we've inherited in the last however many days. We're not going to get rid of them all in 90 days. But what you will see is a complete shift in your mindset and in the way you think about your body and your understanding of nutrition as well. You understand the basics, you know the fundamentals. But what you probably don't know is how it dovetails in to make it work. So that you will get that. There's loads of lots of input, lots of knowledge, as well as practicing it and feeling it and watching it happen. It's unlikely at the end of the 90 days that you will have released everything that you want to release. However, the 90 days after that, for me personally, that was when everything just went boom. So during the 90 days I did release and I did start to see changes, but it was the 90 days afterwards when I was actually living it that all of a sudden everything shifted. It's a 90-day program, but I also then offer to my clients, you then get 3 check-in calls after that, one a month for the next 3 months, because my aim is for you at the end of the 6 months for you not to need me, but to want to stay with me. The idea is after the 6 months that you're confident that you can take it forward and you can run with it yourself, and it is a lifestyle change. I don't want you ever to feel like you ever have to do a diet or any program like that ever again. You've found your niche, you've found your way forward, your life forward. Yeah. Okay, so it's the way it works is that the input is done by Eric Edmeades, by pre-recorded videos by Eric Edmeades, the founder. And they're released on a daily and weekly basis. So once you sign up for the program, you can't jump ahead because we want to do this slowly. We want to do this bit by bit. Then alongside those, you get coaching calls with me. So depending on whether you decide to go with the group or whether you decide to go one-to-one, depends on obviously whether you're in a Zoom group call or whether we arrange it between ourselves. So those are in the first 2 weeks, 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In the last week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But in between, it's just the Monday, Friday. And then in addition to that, I send out emails marrying those Monday, Wednesday, Fridays with additional information on it. And that additional information might be links to articles, might be videos or YouTube clips that just go into a bit more depth about what the subject that we're dealing with at that time. You don't have to look at those. It's not like homework. You don't have to do that. It's if you're interested, if something, piques your interest, there's just that little bit of extra supplementary information to go a bit deeper if you want to. Now, the calls are recorded. So if you don't make a call, for example, I mean, if it's a one-to-one, we'll just rearrange it. But if you're in a group, then those calls are recorded so you can watch them back later if you want to. And then in addition to that, we have WhatsApp group. So with my groups, we have WhatsApp. So during the week between calls, if there's questions, if there's things that crop up, if there's, extra support that people need, we can do that through the WhatsApp group. I offer 100% money back guarantee, and I've not had anybody ask for their money back. Yeah, it works. So for me, it's not a risk because it really isn't a risk. So it sounds like I'm being magnanimous. No, I'm not. So I offer 100% money back guarantee, but there is a proviso, and the proviso is you need to put the work in. So if you turn up on day one and you don't do anything, you don't watch the videos, you don't come on the calls, you don't interact with me, I won't give you your money back because you haven't done the work. Yeah. But if you play full out and at the end of it you're not happy with it, I'll give you your money back. Okay. We address your we use behavioral science and behavioral psychology to address your connection with food, first of all, our addiction to food and where they come from. And at the same time, we start to tweak things. And it's a very gradual process over the course of the 13 weeks. So as we go through the 13 weeks, we are very subtly changing your nutrition levels, your psychology, and all of that kind of stuff. So we're chipping away at it bit by bit by bit. We're about taking you back to what's called the human diet, which is the way that we were naturally supposed to eat. That's the way our physiology wants us to eat. So it's the diet because it's the human diet, which means everything, which means all the fruit and the vegetables in the world. And there is no you can't have, there is no nothing. What we will ask you to do during the program is to take a break from things like coffee, like bread, those things that aren't supportive. We ask you to take a break, and we explain how it impacts on you, what the effects are on your body if you do consume them. And then at the end of the program, if you decide to bring them back in, then that's up to you, but your body will tell you whether it likes it or not. This is about changing your mindset and your lifestyle, and you are going to have Christmases and birthdays and baby showers and weddings, and you're going to have all of those things. What hopefully the program will do is change your attitude towards them slightly. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you are abstaining from stuff and you can't do this and you can't do that, but you might have a different view on it. There will never be a perfect time to change your lifestyle. You're looking for, if you're going to change your lifestyle, it's going to include all of those things. It's going to include those days. It's going to include. Now, I still drink, I still have wine, I have gin and tonic. What I found was, because I used to be a big spirits drinker. In fact, I was a big drinker, full stop. I would drink all the wines and beers, but I would drink whiskey with my dad. That was my thing. I would sit and I would drink single malt whiskey with my dad, and that was our time together. And I hadn't realized how much of a connection the whiskey had with spending time with my dad. So as soon as I started, so drinking whiskey, what it did was invoked the emotion of sitting with my dad and having time with my dad. It was the memory and that feel good factor and all that kind of stuff was associated with drinking the whiskey. When I went through the program, at the end of the program, I was like, I'm going to really enjoy this whiskey. So I put it in my best glass. I sat there. I'd planned to have it, and I sat there. It was in the middle of winter, so we were in front of the fire. It was all nice and cozy, and I smelt it. And then I put it on the tip of my tongue, and I rolled it around my tongue, and I tasted it on all the sides of my tongue, and then I swallowed it, and I could feel the warmth going down my throat. So I could feel it going down into my stomach, and the glow starting in my stomach, and it was all nice and warm and cozy, and it was lovely. And then my heart rate went to 220 beats per minute. Whoa. I was having major palpitations. And I said to Barry, oh my God, I was trying to breathe, I'm trying to calm down. And about 5 minutes later, everything had calmed down a little bit. I thought, okay, I'm going to try a second time. And I took another sip, and it tasted like turpentine. So what was really interesting was that first taste wasn't about the whiskey at all. It was the ceremony, it was the thoughts, it was the memories, it was all the emotion tied up with it. But actually, whiskey tastes horrible. So I don't drink whiskey now, but I don't need to have the whiskey to have those memories. Now I can think about when I used to drink whiskey, and that gives me that warm, glowing feeling. So that's the difference. It's about changing. It's about allowing your body to actually taste the foods and actually taste what's going on and actually decide what's good for you and what's not, what it will happily have and what it won't. But it also helps you understand that the connections, the emotional connections with food and drink that we have are not true. They're lies. Eating hot toast and butter for comfort, because that's what your mum used to do when you were a kid, and you'd sit, first thing in the morning, you get up and you have toast and you'd all be sat cozy. It's not the bread and butter. Bread and butter doesn't do that. It's being with mum. It's being there in the morning. That's the bit that gives you the emotion. We've connected it. So it's breaking those connections so that you actually taste the food for what it is, and you actually enjoy the emotion for what it is, and separate the two. Now, one of the side effects of you doing it is that your nearest and dearest will also pick up on it, and it will have an impact on them. I don't tell people who are doing the challenge. Okay, so no one will know you're doing it with me. And I also encourage you not to tell other people you're doing it, because, at some stage, people will start to notice. They will start to notice them. They'll start to ask you what's happening and blah, blah, blah. And at that point, then you can tell them, chat to them. But at the start, you need to be doing this for you, not for anybody else.
Yeah.
This is for you. And what you don't need is the pressure from other people, which they do when you say, I'm on a diet and I'm doing this. They go, oh, here we go. I'm on another one. But,
Yeah.
you don't need that pressure from other people. So don't tell them. You
Well,
don't need to. I'm going to ask you not to change anything at the moment. Okay. Now, the program, depending on, right, if you want to do one-to-one, we can start whenever. If you want to do group, my next group one starts on the 11th of September. Okay. So it's entirely up to you which way, but I don't want you to change anything. It's really, really important because I know in your head you've got like, right, I'm going to start. I'm going to, I'm going to be good. I'm going to do this. I don't want you to be. I really, really don't want you to be. I want you to continue the way you're doing at the moment. And it's really important because we're going to look at the psychology behind it. And if you don't do it, if you try to change it and force it, we won't have that psychology, those tools to be able to look at, to explore. And this is going to be a gradual progress and a gradual change that is going to be lifelong, life-changing. So we've got time to be able to spend a bit of a gentle introduction to it and actually work out what's really going on. As I say, the group one starts on the 11th of September. The one-to-one we can start whenever you want.